Let's have a little chat, shall we? Anyway, I got some feedback from my last video. Someone texted me and said that all Libras are not liars, Seer Grant. Me and my play, he's like a play little brother to me, whatever you want to call it. I thought that was funny, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't talking about all Libras. I'm talking about people who follow, let's just say that particular mantle that has been put on them, or that chalice that has been put on them. You know what I mean? He knows I wasn't talking about him because he happens to be a Libra. But anyway, let's have a little chat, shall we? I've been in a very talkative mood lately. I've been in a very talkative mood. And I think I've been in a talkative mood because I'm starting to come up out of whatever awakening I was going through. Because whenever I go through an awakening, I will get quiet. Whenever I'm really dealing with spirit, which is myself, I get quiet, and you all may not hear from me for those people who are really interested in listening to me. You may not hear from me for a minute because that means I'm going through some type of spiritual awakening or whatever people may call it, or there may be some changes going on in my universal system, in my own universe, in my own worlds and dimensions. There's movement. And now that things are starting to level off and I'm starting to have understanding, I got a lot to talk about. And before I go any further, let me say this. Anything that I say behind a black screen, I can say it to anybody's motherfucking face if given the opportunity. Anything that I said, I meant it, and I'm not taking it back. Because what's interesting is, in this world, weak-minded people, they want to throw, but they don't want to catch. Do you get what I'm saying? They want to throw shit, but they don't want to catch anything. Because, see, I don't mind catching what you throw, examining it, and if it's something that I can improve on, I might be for it, depending on the motherfucking messenger and their fucking motives. See, I don't have ulterior motives like a lot of people do, on YouTube, to make money, to pimp people, and to, just do all of the things that are associated with black men in the magical and occult community. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have to do any of those things. I don't have to show you what I know. My question is, what can you do? What can you do? See, everybody talks about what they know, but what can you do? See, I don't have to prove what I can do for anybody on YouTube because I don't really offer any services. I just tell people my life experiences. And especially if you're a younger black male who's going through things in your 20s and stuff like that, as an older black male, take the sexual orientation out of it. As an older black male, I can offer counsel to people that I'm cool with about certain things they may be going through in that stage of life. And I'm talking about men, not women. Women need to go to women to get counsel. They need to go to other women. I don't really do giving women counsel because I'm not a woman. They need to go to women. There's nothing really a man can tell a woman unless it's her father or men in her family. Can't no motherfucking man give you no fucking wisdom, ladies. So you should know that before you start going to these male spiritualists or so-called spiritualists or occultists. Men can't give you no motherfucking wisdom, especially no motherfucking black men, because black men, they done gave all their wisdom up to everybody else. Yeah, I said it. They can't give you no motherfucking wisdom. Not none of these motherfuckers on no motherfucking YouTube or online. Half of them don't even have fucking wisdom, and they got women. And they women can't even give them wisdom. You have to have wisdom in order to get it. See, I have wisdom, but I don't have wisdom like a woman should have it because I'm not a woman. And no matter what you misogynist ass motherfucking men think, no matter how you think, no matter how you try to present it, I don't give a fuck if you think you're the grand poobah of magic. You men are not superior to women when it comes to magic and spirit. Those are facts. And I'm talking about black women. Nobody is superior in magic or spirit when it comes to the black woman. You can get mad. You can make all the jokes you want. You can roast. You can gag. Just hope you don't fucking choke, motherfucker. Just hope you don't fucking choke. Men are not comparable to women when it comes to magic. We don't have the equipment. And we don't have that type of consciousness. Okay? And I'm talking about the black woman. Or any woman, to be honest with you, but especially the black woman in particular. But men are not comparable to women when it comes to magic. Sorry. So fuck what you know. Or fuck what you think you know. What the fuck can you do? And the only reason that black women are not really displaying their magic the way that they're supposed to is because they've been tricked into believing that they have to go to men to get fucking wisdom. They have to go to men to get magic. Can't no motherfucker. Anything that a man can do for you, you can use your own fucking pussy power and do it your goddamn self. Thought I heard something. That was somebody in the hallway. You can use your own pussy power to do it your own goddamn self. Your period blood is very powerful, no matter what these hating ass, misogynist ass motherfucking men may say in that fucking conscious fucking agent ass community. You can use your motherfucking vaginal fluids and period blood to do all types of fucking to make shit happen, to get shit going. I remember back in the day when I used to sit around listening to women talk when I was a child. They didn't know that I would, you can put a little bit of period blood in his food. You can put a little bit of period blood in his food, honey. And shit like that. To make men, be more up under your control and shit. I used to hear women talking about that even when I was a child. Because even though I was born here in D.C., D.C. has a voodoo history as well. Because a lot of people that migrated from the South, my family included, my family's from Kentucky. Native American motherfucking voodoo. My family's from Kentucky and Virginia, witchcraft and voodoo. There was a lot of voodoo and witchcraft that went on in Virginia and Kentucky. So that's why it's in my blood. See, them old lady spirits be telling me the shit that I can do for my friend. He ain't going no motherfucking where. Let me tell you the truth. Whenever my friend goes out, he didn't do it today, but most of the time, he lets me know where he's going and when he's coming back. And that's not because I force him to do that. And it's not because there's going to be an argument when he comes back in the house. And I'm not even a woman. But I know, let's just say, I know how to do shit. Whenever he goes out, I'm at such and such. If I call him right now, he going to answer that motherfucking phone. I don't care what he doing. He gonna answer me. He gonna put those people to the side and say, oh, what you need, you okay? And I'm not bragging. But that's how powerful my voodoo is. And when I say voodoo, I'm not talking about lighting a candle. Although I am going to be doing some candle magic for this Christmas season. Listen, this is the best time to do manifestation work. And this is the best time to do heart chakra work. That is what Christmas is all about. But I'll get into that in a minute. But if I call my man right now, he's going to answer me. Do you need anything? No, I'm good. But he has to go out and have his own life. But he'll text me and be like, oh, I'm going to see my kids, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. I'll be back later on. Okay, when you get back, your dinner will be ready. That's how I run my motherfucking household. Because I know what to do for my motherfucking man. And see, if gay black men, if you all were actually walking in your true fucking power, if you were walking in your true power, that's why I can't be too mad at the occult conscious community, the black one, because I did learn some things. So the betrayal and all the bullshit that went on behind the scenes, that was one thing. But at the end of the motherfucking day, I gotta thank them for everything, for all of that, because it taught me what I needed to do. It ain't about what you know, it's about what you can do. You can sit up here and quote scriptures and books all day and all night. But do you know how to break through motherfucking spells and curses and know how to change fucking reality like I do? See, I know how to break curses and spells and shit like that. I know how to do that. I don't talk about it. But I know how to break through. Let's just say, and I'm saying spells and curses, layman terms, but I know how to bust through that motherfucking shit. Because that's just the way I made myself in the universal, in my universal energies. In my universal energies. I am a self-created deity. But getting back to my man, whenever he goes out most of the time, he lets me the fuck know. He lets me the fuck know where he's going, when he'll be back. And even if he don't come back when he say he do, I'm still good. Because he always comes home. And again, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what those old lady spirits from my family taught me how to do. That's just like, you know, Thanksgiving, because, you know, I'm a damn good motherfucking cook, right? Thanksgiving, I wanted to do something different with my turkey, right? And something told me, take your turkey and soak it. And this is what people can do to you. Soak your turkey in baking powder. Some people may do it in baking soda too, but take your turkey or any of your meats and you soak them in baking powder. Your meat will turn out tender. Now, where did that information come from? Then I told my mother about it. She said, oh, you know, your grandmother used to do that. Well, that's who told me to fucking do it. And my grandmother been dead for 30 fucking years, child. So my ancestors, they talk to me. They show me what to do. See, when I cook for my friend, I don't have to put no roots or no herbs in that. I don't have to do that. My words are powerful. See, I know what my gift is. My gift is words, voice, manipulation. I use my voice to break things down. See, the words that come out of my mouth are very powerful. Again, this isn't ego. This is just talking. You have to find your power. You have to find what your power is. My words are powerful. I can create, destroy all with my words. And like I've told you all, my voice is my bread and butter. Because I know how to use my voice to make money. And I'm not talking about singing. My voice is my bread and butter. I can put men up under hypnosis with my voice. I can manipulate their energies with my voice. I can talk into their food, and I can change the vibration of their food. I can do incantations over their food. You don't have to put nothing in their food. There are things you can do. And I'm talking to gay black men. Okay? There are things you can do. I'm not going to get too much into it because I ain't going to tell everybody about all that. But there are things you can do without, because we don't have no period blood. So there are other things that we have to do. And I don't do no nasty shit like that, putting no blood and, I don't do no nasty shit like that. You know what I mean? Because that is kind of extreme, putting blood in somebody's food and stuff like that. Now, that's something that I wouldn't do. I don't believe in doing no nasty shit to nobody's food and putting stuff in people's food under normal circumstances unless they're an enemy and I want to do something to them. You feel what I'm saying? Like I did to my uncle one time. Like I told you all, y'all don't know me like that. And I tell people that all the time. You don't know me like that. You don't know anybody like that. I don't have a conscience when it comes to enemies. And nobody should. Now, I really don't consider the conscious community an enemy because even though they did some shady shit to me, I gained and benefited more than not. So I'm not too mad. It was just some shit that went down that hurt my motherfucking feelings. And if I felt like speaking on it, I felt like I had a right to. That's it. That's all. I spoke nothing but truth. My truth. And I don't give a fuck who has a problem with it. This ain't no motherfucking occult. People can speak up. You can speak your fucking mind. But show me what you know. I'm sorry, show me what you can do. I don't want to keep hearing about what people know. Show me what you can do. And very few people have I seen showed me, very few, there have been some, but very few people can show you what they can do. They only talk about what they know. And my thing is either put up or shut up. Can you change your reality for you? Can you change your reality for you? Like today, my reality is going to make me some fried fish and some cold slaw. That's going to be my motherfucking reality. Some fried fish and cold slaw. If I felt like it, I would make me some goddamn cornbread to go with it, child. I sure would. But see, that's not really me. That's probably, some ancestor of mine that want that. So I'm going to cook it. Christmas, people, it's the birth of Jesus and yada yada. But we all know that Christ really deals with the heart chakra. And what I begin to really realize what Christmas is really all about is healing that wounded child within you. See, that is what those stories, those Christmas Carol stories, Charles Dickens, going as far back as Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. And you know how these characters, they've made many different, there have been many different versions of this. They've had versions where they had Vanessa Williams play a version of a female Scrooge, Cicely Tyson. There have been many different variations of the Christmas Carol story by Charles Dickens. And what I really begin to understand about it, it's all about healing that wounded child within you. Because remember, in each of those stories, they have a ghost of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas yet to come. And the one that affects them the most, the one that really affects them the most is Christmas past, when they go back into the childhood of whatever Scrooge version that they're doing on the TV. I've seen one with Erica Kane from All My Children where she played. She wasn't playing Erica Kane. She was playing a version of Scrooge. Vanessa Williams, like I said, a Diva's Christmas Carol. Then there was the one with Cicely Tyson. They've had many different versions. And I went back one day, not that long ago, and I started looking at each one. And one thing that I began to realize, there was a common theme. And the common theme was heart chakra work, forgiveness, love, and not necessarily loving other people. I mean, that will come into, that will kind of balance itself out. But loving self, not in an egotistical way, but loving self enough to say, hey, listen, we have to let this pain go. We have not been good to ourselves. And most of those people who played Scrooge, most of those people in those different variations of those movies that were derived from the story, most of those people that played in those movies, most of them were very rich. They had money, they had big homes, but their lives were so empty. And that's because their heart chakras were closed off. So you can have a lot of money, you can have materialistic success and still be poor and still have a poverty mindset. You see that over there in that Black occult conscious community. A lot of them may have homes, a lot of them may have money, but they have a very poor poverty mindset because of how they treat people. A lot of those niggas act like racist white men. If you ask me, shit, I get more out of Sylvia Brown listening to her before she became mainstream. Shit, that's where I started out at. I started out listening to Sylvia Brown. Now, when I started listening to her, she was mainstream. But I happened to go back and I listened to, and yeah, she's a white woman, but so what? I went back and I started listening to her when she gave small lectures in the early 90s, where she was talking about spirit and, God, and really the God within you. Because Sylvia Brown was a badass motherfucking occultist until she got into mainstream, and that's when she started to change. And it started taking a kabuki type of, twist and turn, about doing psychic predictions on Montel and all that. Although I watched it and it was enjoyable, because you can always get something out of something that may not be whatever. And I read a lot of her books. I bought some of her books because I'm not interested in, the psychic reading. I ain't interested in that. I'm more interested in the spiritual knowledge, the ancient spiritual knowledge, and the things that she was able to tap into. So I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater and all that. I know a lot of people don't like Sylvia Brown. I know she was labeled as a fraud and everything, and maybe later on in life that was the case. But I'm talking about long before she started doing the psychic stuff, when she was just giving smaller lectures. What happened to Sylvia Brown is exactly what happened to a lot of these niggas in this conscious community. The more money they got, the more their heart chakras got turned off, basically. Or the more their heart chakras dropped into a lower vibrating frequency, a lower dimension, where it became less about wisdom and knowledge. See, men can have wisdom, but they have to tap into it. They have to really tap into it. And a lot of times they need a feminine counterpart, meaning a female, a black female, to really help them tap into it. What people are feeling, the kabuki feeling that people are feeling now, where it feels as though things just seem off balance, the problem is that a lot of the black women that had true wisdom, they are no longer on the planet anymore. And the ones that are on the planet, because of the suppression of divine feminine energy, because wisdom ties into divine feminine energy, and because of the suppression of that, That is why things are kind of off balance. And I said that years ago. Because when your heart chakra is not operating on the right frequency that it should be, nothing is going to operate correctly within your chakra system. Nothing. Because your heart chakra, that is really the most important chakra. Because that is the gateway to the higher realms, to the Christ consciousness, to the crown, the throne. I don't call it the crown, it's the throne. What they call the crown chakra is the throne. That's the throne of God. And that is where you're supposed to be. But if your heart chakra is not right, you can't get there. And it has nothing to do with books. It has nothing to do with how big your house is. It has nothing to do with how much money you have in your bank account. It has nothing to do with how many friends you have. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with your level of consciousness in that realm, in the realm of the throne of God. So, examining Christmas, everyone has their own belief, birth of Christ and all that. But when you really connect it on an occult level, Christmas is about doing heart chakra work, manifestation. You can do manifestation during Christmas because this is, abundance manifestation and money manifestation during Christmas, because people do spend a lot of money during this time, and you can pull on that motherfucking energy. You can pull on it and you can manifest using it. You can do that. How you do it, that's up to you. I don't tell people how to do things. You have to figure it out. You have to let your spirit be your own guide. You have to let your spirit be your own guide. But Christmas is about healing that wounded child within you. There are 3 spirits that visit these individuals in the movie and in the book with Charles Dickens. Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas yet to come. Okay? Now, when I think of it and how I look at it, Christmas past is the younger subconscious mind, and how the subconscious mind was removed out of the driver's seat, as my friend Glenn taught me, how the subconscious mind was moved out of the driver's seat by the experiences that were put forth by the conscious mind. See, the first ghost or the first spirit is symbolic of the subconscious mind and where it was. A childlike state where you can do anything, where you can create anything. As a matter of fact, in the one with Susan Lucci, when she was a child, she said, one day I'm going to own this department store. She was walking past a department store, and she said, one day I'm going to own this department store, and I'm going to have a big house with lots of good food to eat. Okay? But she came from a very abusive background, her character, Ebby, in the movie. So when the second spirit came, presence, that spirit was the spirit of Christmas present. And that was how you, well, let me go back to past first. Wait a minute. I'm moving a little bit too fast because I want to hurry this up. Yeah, I've been long-winded lately, child. So going back to past, you begin to see how the ego gradually begins to take over, because after the childhood, they start going into early adulthood with these characters in these movies, the variations of the movies The Christmas Carol. And you begin to see how the ego begins to take over, and the childlike mentality begins to, which is the subconscious, begins to take a back seat. And then you see this person becoming this cold, nasty, a shut off, miserable type of person. They have a lot of money, they have a lot of success, but they close their hearts off to love and compassion. So you begin to see how the heart chakra and the subconscious, which actually goes hand in hand, you begin to see how the subconscious is pushed to the side by the ego, and the ego gets into the driver's seat. Then we go to Christmas present, the current, which is, what's happening currently, and that is the ego. It is showing you the ego in all of its glory. They're rich, they're powerful, everyone fears them, and they don't fear them out of respect. They fear them because they don't like them. They fear them because they're afraid they're going to lose their jobs. People don't like them, and they have to sit around and watch how their ego has infected their life, the Antichrist. This is showing them how they have become the Antichrist. And then we go to the final spirit, which is the ghost of Christmas is yet to come. And that entity is showing them the death of their spirit, the death of their soul, and what is going to happen to them if they continue on that path. We're not talking about just death of spirit. We're talking about the destruction of your soul. I know some people say, well, your soul can't die and all that. You better think about that. That's what you hope it can't. See, when Christ talks about the final death in the Bible, he's talking about, or they're talking about, how the soul can die. How the soul can die. It doesn't mean that it's permanent, but it just means that that particular soul will die out and become something else, possibly. Okay? It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's going to be a permanent death. But it's showing you the different variations of the subconscious, the ego, and the consequences of the low vibrating heart chakra. So that is why when these people have these experiences after being visited by these different aspects of their mind, and then the spirit of Christmas is to come, of Christmas future, is also showing you, they don't show it to you, but it's also showing you redemption. See, that's redemption as well. And it's showing you how you can redeem yourself. You don't need anything outside of you redeeming you. Nothing can save you outside of you. And that's what it's showing you as well. So that is why after these people are visited by all of these different aspects of their mind, because that's all that it is. These are different, levels and aspects of your mind that you go into. After these people have these experiences, they're changed people. They are absolutely changed people. Same thing with the movie Rosemary's Baby. Once Rosemary accepted her dark side, and I'm talking about both versions, the one with Mia Farrow that came out in the 1960s with John Cassavetes, he played in it. He was a well-known actor and director and producer. He was married to Gina Rowlands. She was his wife. She's also a well-known actress, or she was. I think she's really elderly now. She doesn't act anymore, but she's a damn good motherfucking actress. And that version and the one with Zoe Saldana. Remember when Zoe Saldana, when she played in Rosemary's Baby, when she embraced that baby, which was really an aspect of her darker side. Once she embraced that, she wasn't afraid anymore, and she found a new sense of power, strength, and security. Same thing in the Christmas Carol variations. Once these people faced their dark sides, you notice that they were totally transformed by those experiences. Because they had reactivated their heart chakra. They had opened it back up with a new understanding and a new wisdom and an appreciation and a gratefulness and a humbleness. It doesn't mean they became punks, but they began to really understand what was important. And that is what has been lost in this black conscious community, in this so-called black occult conscious community. See, this is bigger than Sia Grant. This is not about me. It's a much bigger picture than that. How black people and their heart chakras are shut off. Their heart chakras are shut off. I mean, unless it's for white people or gay white people, they'll open it up for them. You know what I mean? But for themselves and other black people, it's shut off. You get into one disagreement with these people and they cut you off or you don't have to have a disagreement with them. They cut you off for no reason. They mistreat you for no reason. And the reason that that's a problem is because some of them call themselves master occultists, but they're not doing any real motherfucking work. See, that's the illusion. You can trick people into thinking that you're doing work, but you're really not. Making fun of gay people is not doing work. Covertly trying to shade people and, degrade people is not work. That's not doing any work. What's doing work is going to somebody that you have hurt and saying, you know what, I was wrong. And even though we may not be friends, I was wrong. How can we make this right? And walk away. Sometimes that's all it takes. And a lot of people carry childhood trauma with them because they have unfinished business in their heart. They carry this childhood trauma with them. Same thing in the movie, in these variations of the Christmas Carol. A lot of those characters are just like these people and these black men in these conscious communities. They're just like them. These people have built a foundation on pain. And you cannot grow in pain if you are not willing to forgive. And I don't mean forgive in the Christian sense. I mean forgive yourself. So Christmas is a perfect opportunity to do heart chakra work, to really work with that inner child within you that needs healing. And that's for myself included. I'm not above this. I'm not above this at all. That means me too. I'm damaged as well. We are black in America, and there are things that there are mechanisms and there are certain systemic things that have had an effect on us. But most of the people that have broken my heart and that have caused me harm have been other black people, especially other black men and women. Both. I ain't gonna put it all on black men. Both. This ain't an anger thing. This is a heart chakra thing. So this is a good time to really examine yourself. That's what Christmas is all about. Self-transformation. Facing those different, what some people may call them demons, or different, aspects of your mind. Going back within your own universe and examining that wounded, that broken child within you. Because I know, see, now that my eyes are open, I know that the pain that those niggas inflict on each other and other people in that black occult conscious community, that's why a lot of them cannot get to the next level. That's why a lot of them are still swimming in quicksand in the mud, following people online and following people on Facebook, because they're not doing any real work. They're just being used by people who claim to be this and that, who are even weaker than they are. They may not, they're strong at manipulation. They're strong at drawing you in, but you're not doing any real work. You're not doing any real work if you still need a teacher or if you still need to follow somebody. Now, the younger people, I get it. The people in their early 20s and stuff like that, they need some guidance. But you old motherfuckers 30 and up, you need to grow up. You need to grow the fuck up. You need to grow up. It's time to grow up. Because all these motherfucking niggas, I guarantee you, if you stop sending them money, stop buying their products, and stop sending them cash apps, I guarantee you they will become a little bit more humble then. Their whole focus would fucking change. Because they depend on you to live their lavish lifestyles. This is not about money. This is about healing. Real healing. And real healing is not going to take place on a foundation that's built on quicksand. So that's what Christmas is really all about. It's about being gracious, being humble, and being appreciative. You don't forget your past. You just don't repeat it. And that is the true meaning of those variations. You don't forget it. You just make sure you don't repeat it. See, one of the reasons that black people are going through the same type of cosmic fucking karma is because we keep repeating the past. We haven't learned our lesson. We didn't learn our lesson in Atlantis. We didn't learn our lesson in Lemuria. We didn't learn the lesson in ancient Kemet. We didn't learn the lesson in Sumeria. We didn't learn the lesson in Tartaria. We didn't learn the lesson. We're not learning. This is why. You can't be mad at no white people. This ain't about no white people. White people are going to do what they do, whether they're racist or not. This you can't be mad at white people. It's us. It's us. It's us. You can only be mad at white people for a certain amount of shit. When you have old ass black men like Flavor Flav sitting up, giving his energy away and adopting some weirdo like Pete Davidson. Have you ever seen him mentor any young black men? No. Do you ever see any of these old ass black men? Do you ever see them mentoring any, younger black men? No, but you surely see them dicking down these motherfucking white boys. You see them doing that on the low. You see them harassing and terrorizing and attacking gay black people. You see them doing that. You see them clowning and, mistreating and misusing the energy of gay black people like they did me over there in that black occult conscious community. But I was the only dumb one that didn't know it. I thought they really liked me. But they didn't, and that's okay. That's part of my childhood trauma that I'm learning from. And I'm grateful and I'm gracious and appreciative that they taught me that experience. But everybody's not as strong as I am. You feel what I'm saying? I'm glad that I hated them enough to separate from them. I'm glad that they showed me so much hatred that I hated them enough and hated that situation enough. Thank you to my friend Mez for telling me about hate. See, hate can really move motherfucking mountains when it's used in the right fucking way. And I am so glad that hate that they showed me, it motivated me. So when have you ever seen any of them, do that? They don't do that because their heart chakras are closed off. It's closed off, and that is why they're drawn to people of a lower vibrating frequency. Pete Davidson's heart chakra is closed off. He's a weirdo. And I'm calling him a weirdo because he's not operating in spirit. He's operating as the ego, the flesh, the Antichrist. Taking all those weird pictures with his tongue hanging out of his mouth, all of those tattoos over his body. Now, if there's nothing wrong with him consciously, why is he getting those tattoos removed? Why is he getting them removed? If there's nothing wrong with him, why is he getting the tattoos removed? I read an article that he's getting those tattoos removed. So now that I can see things clearly, I understand that this battle ain't got nothing to do with me. It has to do with the battle between others and their heart chakra and their own mind. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you. So Christmas, it's not about buying someone a gift. I mean, that's what it has become. But the true meaning and what you should be doing on Christmas, it's not about sitting around, eating piles and piles of food, although I am going to cook, because that's all part of my ancestral rituals. It's not about that either. It's about you taking this time as an opportunity to examine your heart, to examine that wounded child within you, and applying any type of healing that you think it may need. And it can be something, you don't have to do no grand poopah shit. You don't have to pay nobody no $8,000 to do no grand poopah shit if it's not necessary. You can do something as simply as this. You can close your eyes, go into meditation, and just say, look, I know I've been through some shit in my childhood. I know I'm a wounded person. And I am willing to learn how to change that. I am willing to learn how to reverse that. I am willing to learn to let that go, not forget it. Because sometimes you need a reference so you won't repeat the past. And that's what I'm talking about now. Black people are constantly repeating the past. We have mistreated each other. We've abused each other for thousands upon thousands, maybe millions of years. So you can't be mad at all these other races of people who are succeeding in areas that we used to, like that guy that just got his motherfucking ass whooped by that white boy. You know why he got his ass whooped by that white boy? The same thing, the same reason that guy got that other boxer. What was it? The Fury fight? Same reason. Because black men are not walking in their true power anymore. You gave it up when you started fucking all them goddamn others. No disrespect. But when you turned that into what you did, you gave it up. You pushed black women and black people out the way so you could get to white homosexuals and white women. Let's tell the truth and shame the motherfucking devil. I'm going to be a little bit of Christian right now. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Even some of you so-called fucking conscious niggas. You like gay white men more than you do gay black people. You give them more respect and regard than you do gay black people. But yet you say you black and you conscious, and you say that this is not for them. Some of them. But you have a certain level of respect, which is not really respect, it's slave respect. Because you're still afraid of them. And this ain't no shade to white people. This is just the dysfunction and the disease of black people's minds, which was a result of slavery and so-called white terrorism at that time. But look at how you all have taken on those same characteristics, and then you wonder why you're swimming in quicksand, following weak-ass motherfuckers who are not even real motherfucking spiritualists and occultists. Let's tell the fucking truth and shame the devil. And I don't give a fuck who gets offended about what I'm saying. This is spirit talking because I'm a real fucking spiritualist. Being a spiritualist is not talking about no. It's about telling the fucking truth and being able to see the fucking truth. Not in the physical, but in the motherfucking spiritual. That's a real spiritualist. Just like when I went on Facebook a couple of years ago, when all of this stuff started happening with Black Lives Matter, and I saw this black woman, I'm about to get on them too. I saw this black woman that I know who ain't shit, that grew up with my mother and them. I don't speak to that bitch no more because she's a foul motherfucking person. And this bitch had the nerve to have Black Lives Matter. Then another bitch I saw who's in my family by marriage. She went down to that motherfucking woman's march that they had in 2017, and I found that interesting. Both of these bitches are hypocrites. The one with the Black Lives Matter image on her Facebook page, that motherfucker has spent most of her fucking life trying to destroy other black people, especially other black women. And the other one that went to that woman's march in 2017, she has spent most of her life trying to destroy other black women. But yet you're going to some woman's march. And this other one, you have the nerve to have a Black Lives Matter sign on your fucking profile when both of you bitches have done nothing but try to promote and destroy other motherfucking black people, especially other black women's lives. Because I used to be cool with the one that had the Black Lives Matter thing on her Facebook profile. And I said, look at this motherfucking fake phony bitch. And I'm calling her a bitch because of the things she has done to other black women. And most of the black women that she did that to were better women than her. She even verbally and psychologically and physically abused her own fucking daughters. Not in front of me, because this woman is like 20, 30 years older than me. She's 20 some years older than me, actually. Not 30. She's in her early 60s. And I was friends with her oldest daughter. Her oldest daughter wrote her a letter one time. And in response to that letter, the letter was just saying, Ma, I feel that you really mistreated me as a child, which she did. You were abusive towards me as a child, which she was. And her response to her daughter was to call her an ugly black bee, told her that she looked like a monkey with a wig on, and told her she wished her business failed. That was her response to her daughter. That was her response. But there's nothing wrong with those types of behaviors, right? That is psychological terrorism. And you can imagine how many black women have had to deal with that with their mothers and the other black women in their families trying to terrorize them that way and belittle them in that way, because it hurts more coming from the black woman, because the black woman has the most magic behind her. So when a mother says that to her daughter or her son, that is very detrimental. And then we wonder why we have movies like A Christmas Carol, A Diva's Christmas Carol, and Ebby, because they're showing you the childhood trauma that still lurks and attaches to the heart chakra. The past is the heart chakra in those movies. And they're showing you all of the steps that you have to go through to heal that sometimes. I'm just giving my perspective as an occultist, as a black gay occultist, just giving my spiritual assessment. Now, what I did, and I'm going to be leaving soon, what I did to heal myself, what I did was I confronted every personal demon that I had that was hurt, abandonment, rejection, insecurities. I confronted each and every last one of those things. I went back into my mind. I started thinking about all of the things that really hurt me as a child, the ways that my own mother had hurt me, my family had hurt me, and how that created an ego for me to keep people out. Or if I let people in, I let the wrong people in. Like I did with that fucking fucked up ass conscious community. But again, I have to give them thanks and gratitude, because had it not been for their treachery and for their betrayal, I would not be where I'm at now. So I'm grateful for that. Very much. Sometimes you have to dig deep into your heart, and you have to pull up all of that stuff. Abuse, physical and sexual, mental and emotional. You got to pull all that stuff out. Because quiet as it's kept, it's been a lot of men in that conscious community who have been sexually abused by white men. But those are the ones that they love so much. And they mistreat black people, even when you support them. They've lived in sexual abuse. You can tell. They've lived in physical and emotional and mental abuse. The difference is that they don't talk about it. And that's not doing no real work. There has to be an honesty about this. There has to be an honesty. And that is why I commend people that tell me their raw truth. Like a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention his name, he told me the raw truth about, he's heterosexual, he's not gay. He told me the raw truth about his sexual abuse. And that is why he is going to go far. That is why he is going to continue to elevate. That is why his heart chakra is operating where it should. And he even confronted the person who violated him. It's not about forgiving them. It's about healing you. You can forgive them some other time if you want to, but you don't have to forgive them per se. You forgive you so you can heal. Forgiveness is a tricky thing, and I don't feel like getting into that, but you know what I'm saying. You have to be honest in this motherfucking game, or it just won't work for you. All of the smiles in the world don't cover up the truth. Do I have anything else left to say? I think, I've been here for an hour. I did not want to be here that long. I'm about to go fry my motherfucking fish, eat my cold slaw, and be happy. Okay? That's what I'm getting ready to go do. But remember, Christmas is about you working on your heart chakra and you learning to heal and forgive self. That's what Christmas is all about. And if you enjoy the trimmings of it, the food, the presents, that's all well, fine, and good too. That's all well, fine, and good too. But also take some time out for yourself. Listen to your heart. And if you feel yourself becoming overwhelmed with emotion, then that means your heart is trying to tell you something. You know that song in The Color Purple? Speak to me, Lord. Speak to me. Maybe God is trying to tell you something. They're talking about the God in you. They're talking about your heart, the Christ in you, trying to tell you something. That dark hidden part of you is trying to connect with you. It's trying to tell you something, and you better listen to it. Don't listen to none of these motherfuckers out here. You ain't even got to listen to me. You listen to your heart. That's who you listen to. You ain't got to listen to none of these other motherfuckers because they don't have no heart. Remember what I told you? No heart, no brain, no courage. Heart and courage go hand in hand. All three of them go hand in hand, really. But heart, courage, and heart and courage definitely go hand in hand. If you have no courage, you have no heart. And you're sitting, people, we've all been sitting around here listening to a bunch of cowards who have no heart. And if you have no heart, you therefore can't teach about it. This is Sia Grant, aka The Occult View. Take it how you want, as long as you take it. Thank you.